We'll scare up those dogs.
You are too kind.
Yeah.
I said wherever.
I got Jamie to, I guess I need to put him out there.
Yeah.
Anywhere, this is hard.
Tom, can you use my phone to take pictures? It's gotta be.
We had to go there, the arch, you can draw the arch.
If I close it, I just do like this. Yep.
Sure.
Hey, you know. He was on that track, Amy there.
He's the courthouse.
All right, so we're gonna get started. Unofficial meeting start. We're gonna give out our Scout of the Year award. So front and center. Brian, you want to read this?
Sure.
On up.
Okay. Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW Post 921, Scout of the Year participant 2024, awarded to Clint McGowan in recognition of your participation in the National Scout of the Year contest. This citation honors you as a stellar example of exceptional citizenship, extraordinary service, and exemplary character in keeping with the highest standards of the Scouts and the veterans of the Foreign Wars of the United States, given under Chris Cote, Commander, VFW Post 921.
Congratulations. So, take that. That's yours. And then grip and grab. Let's go. Okay. So, wait, you're not done yet. So Clint is not only VFW Post 921 Scout of the Year, he's also District 1 Scout of the Year. And we're waiting to hear if he is the State Scout of the Year. So that's in work still. Clint is also a junior ROTC cadet at Stonehenge High School from Sky Valley School, Monroe Platoon. And he was part of the unarmed and armed drill team this year. We came second in the state for both. So.
Hey, Chris, is the coach.
Get to that. And Clint's mom is very heavily involved with the Marine Corps Junior ROTC Parent Association. I have a check for you, by the way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Congratulations. As soon as I know something, obviously I'll let you know. And I got your envelope. For you.
Oh, perfect.
So, as a membership, we have, because of all the stuff that the cadets do for poppies and above and beyond everything else, we've donated $1,500. I think Stanley, right? $1,500 towards the general fund, and then the other $1,500 for scholarship, right?
Yeah, it's just one check.
One check, right? So basically, and at the award ceremony next week, we're going to give out the 2 scholarship certificates, but then Captain will get to when those kids get to school, they'll have, you know, you guys send the money directly to the,
It's a breakdown in here.
it's just 3,000 total.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
alright.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Then we also donate to Toys for Tots for Christmas.
Right. Yeah. All right, everybody ready?
The officers will now take their respective stations.
Unauthorized guests will kindly retire and the guard will close the doors. Okay, have a seat.
And try not to slide your chairs, because they just beat us for. Yeah.
All right, by the power and authority vested in me, I'm about to open post 921 for the transaction of any business that may lawfully come before it. Officer of the day, satisfy yourself that all present are entitled to remain.
But my car is gone.
You're good, we know who you are. I got one.
I'm here to catch it up, so. They won't let me do it online.
Carry on, all right. O10, hook. Uncover. Chaplain will now offer the opening prayer. Parade, rest.
Bow our heads. Sovereign ruler of the universe, who art the Lord of hosts and God of peace, without thee our efforts are in vain. Continue thy blessing upon us and our families, we pray thee, and guide us during our deliberations. We beseech thee, O God, to bless the dependents of our departed comrades, and to comfort all who gave their loved ones to our national cause. Bless and strengthen the sick, the needy, and the afflicted. Thus, we ask thee, the children, families, and staff of our national home, and help us to fulfill our duties toward them. Continue thy favor upon us, our order, and help us to practice the spirit of true comradeship, both in our council and with the world at large. Enable us to better the community in which we live through our devotion to duty as citizens. We'll now have a moment of silent prayer for our departed comrades and for those missing in action and those held as prisoners of war. These and all other necessary blessings we ask thee, mighty ruler of the universe. Amen.
Amen.
Left hand up. Cover. Comrades, will you now join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America? Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms. Comrades, we are assembled again to transact business of mutual benefit. Do not let petty jealousies or trivial personalities influence our deliberations. Let us uphold always the obligations of unselfish comradeship and loyalty to our organization and to the government of the United States of America. I now declare post 921 duly open for the transaction of business. Guard, will you now admit any in waiting who may be worthy? Okay. The objects of veteran foreign wars are fraternal, patriotic, historical, and educational. Preserve and strengthen comradeship amongst its members and to assist worthy comrades. Perpetuate the memory and history of our dead and to assist their widows and orphans. Maintain true allegiance to the government of the United States of America and fidelity to its Constitution and laws, to foster true patriotism, to maintain and extend the institutions of American freedom, preserve and defend the United States from all enemies. All right, introduction to visitors. Mike, if you want to come up front center and you can introduce yourself. Tell us a little about you and your service and how you got here.
Hello. Thank you. I'm his neighbor.
I just moved in a few months ago. I actually just came from Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, where I was the emergency management director there. But I worked for FEMA for 15 years in emergency management. And before that, I was with the Air Force, 12 years active duty, a couple years in reserves. First, I was a cop for 3 years. Security police, security forces. Remember the transition? I was there during that time, and I was a enlisted weather observer, weather forecaster, and then became a weather officer. Did that STEP program and served in Kyrgyzstan in support of the war in Afghanistan. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And he's a current member, right?
Yes.
In Kailua, and we're gonna transfer him over to our post.
Yep, Honolulu.
So.
Yeah. Aloha Friday somewhere.
Do I just say hi?
Here.
So Doug White, he's our district inspector. We passed our inspection. Doug also is the Poppy Chair and the Youth SA West Democracy Patriot Pen Chair. So everything went through him to the state this year. So between Carson, myself, and Doug, that's how it all happened. So thank you, Doug, for all you do.
The job now on that doesn't have me losing all my hair.
Further, I'd like to also say Comrade White is running for state surgeon this year. And I would like to propose a motion that Post 921 supports Doug White for state surgeon 25-26.
I second that motion.
All in favor of supporting Comrade Doug White for
Is there
state
discussion at all?
or discussion?
Do we know who else is running?
Nobody else is running so far.
Yeah. Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? All in favor of supporting, okay, sorry, discussion. So we have, I think based on our population, we have 5 delegates to go to the conference, or the convention in June. And at the convention, we have an opportunity to vote and support different people running for the different positions. So like Doug will go up with whoever else is running for surgeon, and they'll give a speech, talk about themselves, stuff like that. And then we'll break off into 4 corners by districts, and the delegate or the candidates will walk around and they'll talk to all the delegates for a short period of time. And once that's done, then we'll have elections and vote on them. And
Kind
then
of like electoral college.
basically, yep. And so then they get elected at the convention and installed on Sunday, correct? Saturday like 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after,
Yeah.
soon after.
And the banquet's
Friday.
Friday night. Yeah, get my days mixed up. So, and then they start working, representing all of us on Sunday is there a Sunday
Well,
thing?
the Council of Administration and the Finance Committee meet immediately after installation to vote on the budget, because we got to get the budget thrown in. Budget's all written. We wrote it already.
Okay. So anyway, that's how the election process works at the state level. We're going to finalize our election tonight, and we're going to install our new officers, but the new officers don't take command, if you will, until after the state convention. Okay. So, all right. So that was our discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Support Doug White as state surgeon. And if you guys don't know how this works, surgeon is the first chair that you go in. It's not set in stone. It's not written anywhere, but basically there's surgeon, JAG, junior, senior, and then commander. So Doug's signing himself up to a 5-year commitment? 5-year tour. Drew James, who's in post 7511 over in Monroe, he is the state senior vice commander. And in June, he'll take over as state commander. So he's been doing these chairs for the last 4 years. And so we'll have a local guy as our state commander.
It is written in the Washington state bylaws that we do a 5-year steps.
Should they change that? Because
No, they tried to, it was,
Okay.
our state bylaws say there's three departments in the VFW, I think, or maybe it's four, that have a shorter route.
Anyway, thanks Doug for your commitment to the VFW. We appreciate all that you do for us, because Doug does a lot for us. He covers my backside all the time. So very much appreciate all that you do. So thank you.
I passed you on your inspection now.
I go out to inspect your post.
Win-win.
Okay, recognizing past post commanders, Elmer Johnson. Great to see you, Elmer. Otis Wolf. On the roll of officers.
Calling roll of officers. Commander Chris Cote,
Present.
Senior Vice Commander Matt Harmonley,
Excused on orders.
Junior Vice Commander Carson Buss,
Here.
Oos.
myself, Quartermaster Stanley Ornbreck, Chaplain Dan Humphreys, there. First year trustee Otis Wolf,
Here.
second year trustee Elmer Johnson, here. Third year trustee James Hampton,
Excused.
adjuvant
Here.
Brian O'Neill, and service officer Bruce Krieger.
Said he was gonna be here, right?
He sent me a text today, said he'd be here, but I don't see him. Hope everything's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. And judge advocate Jamie Pike.
Here.
And Surgeon Thomas Creamery. Excellent. So I'm going to send pass out a sign-in sheet, and if you can just sign your name in there, and if you get it, pass it along. You need a pen.
Oh, God. Can't get my own away.
Guys, you gotta bring your own pens, man. All right.
All right. So Stanley, reading, referring, membership applications. You said you had 4.
Yes, I do. I have 4, sir. Okay, these candidates, first one is Jose Paliada Martinez. He's a Army active duty in the National Guards. He's from Lawrence, Massachusetts, served in Korea, not the Korean War, but the Korean. And he's been serving since 2018, and Matt is the recruiter. The second one is Kevin Mulashek. He is an Army active duty with the National Guard. He's from Oxford, Massachusetts. He served in the Iraq War under Inherent Resolve. And he's also served since 2018, and Matt's the recruiter. Next one is Brian Cardasso. He is Army active duty in the National Guard as well. He's from Middleton, Pennsylvania. He served in Syria with under the Inherent Resolve and been serving since 2007, and Matt's in recruit. And then we have Jonathan Doster. He is an Army active. He's from Windham, New Hampshire, and he is an Afghan veteran and been serving since 2016. And Matt is his recruiter. And the final one is David Rustall. He is a Army vet. He is a local boy in Snohomish, and he served in Iraq. He's a veteran from 2003 to 2008. Now, he would be making it here tonight. He has employment obligations. He did say that, like, during the week, if we can meet here, he'd swear in and do all that. It's just during this time, he can't make it because of his obligations. And so I know him personally. His dog and my dog get along really good. And, so
It's a hell of a.
Trustworthy guy now.
okay, yeah, so these are the people.
Okay. Do you make recommendations that they,
I recommend, I vetted each one of them, looked through their DD 214s, verified their service and their time served.
okay, so Stanley has referred them. Do we, want-
Move that we accept the nominations as presented for
Okay.
membership.
do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, discussion? 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 Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? We'll rack up the new members. Okay, so Mike's gonna transfer. We got, how many was on that list? 4 or 5? 4. Joe's gotta renew.
Joe's gonna,
No, I know, he needs Stanley to hook him up. And then we got Artie Burley, who Stanley's supposed to work with to get his life membership. I know.
called him up, he hadn't returned my call.
Right, no, I sent you a text today with him on it. You guys, we just gotta get connected. He got your message.
You got my message?
Yes, that was in the text thread. Anyway, with that, I think that'll push us to 128 members for the year, which is our 102% goal, which makes us eligible for All-American.
Matt just sent a few more today too. that
I
we
know,
haven't-
did you check
They
the,
haven't processed it
I
yet.
understand that.
School all day.
Right, I get that, but when we just hold on to them, because when we hit 128, we're good for the year. We'll get those people in July 1st, because that starts the ticket for next year. We're good. What I'm saying is, we hit goal, we're gonna be All-American. We needed, community service reports, which I'll talk about, in a bit. But I personally uploaded 36 community service reports last Thursday morning. Took me about a half hour to do 36 different ones. It's really simple. I may show you how, we've done it before, but I may review it, how easy it actually is. I was the worst offender of it. All the stuff that we do and that I do as a commander with different meetings, things like that. I never put them in, but I put them all in. So we're over the top for community service. So between membership being 102% and community service reports, that should have put us over the edge for All-American again for this year. Thanks for all that you guys do. We appreciate it. Balloting of applicants, we already talked to, mustering recruits. All the recruits we have are Mike. We're going to transfer them over. Minutes are on our YouTube channel. If anybody needs access to the YouTube channel or can't find it, talk to Brian after the meeting. He will get you on our YouTube channel so you guys can review the minutes, which are basically the videos of this meeting. Quartermaster's report.
That's a report. Periods of April 1st to the 30th. Our receipts start up with Wells Fargo checking. We have $16 that we paid for annual membership payouts. We have $1,000 that was transferred from the savings to the checking. And we had received $140 as a payment for VFW jackets and shirt purchase that we had. And then Wells Fargo savings, whopping 8 cents for interest. And next slide.
what's the balance in the Wells Fargo savings?
It's on, we'll be
There we
good with
go.
it. Well, hold on, we're missing a slide.
Go back one.
Yeah, the receipts, okay, there you go. Okay, the money we received in for April, for Wells Fargo checking, we have, we received $16 from VFW National, which is the annual membership payout. We have $1,000 showing the transfer, and we've. There another slide? Hold
Go
on.
back. Oh, hold on. We'll go to 17. Nope.
That's all I got. And then status funds.
Disbursements.
Okay, so, Wells Fargo, we currently have $1,960.95. That is a decrease of $986.97. I mean, an increase of 900. So, Wells Fargo savings, we have $9,925.26. That is a decrease of $999.91. That is mainly due to the transfer from the savings to the checking of $1,000. We have $135 petty cash on hand and, Morgan Stanley Money Market. Okay. It is $107,642.67, which is a reduction of $273.39, which I see is very good concerning the market got tanked last month because of tariffs and stuff like that. So, you know, they did a good job in keeping the funds safe there. I was impressed. Okay, so Wells Fargo checking, these are the disbursements that came in.
We don't have a slide, sorry, I got it.
Of what we purchased. So $125.35 was Domino's Pizza. We have a VFW new members payment of $30, so we brought in a new member. And our website, Microsoft 365 environment was $13.68. Total disbursements of $169.03. And then we also show the Wells Fargo balance movement transfer of $1,000 coming out of the savings and into the check. That is the quartermaster report.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about the report, the budget, status of funds?
You make change for $100.
They can upstairs.
I might.
Yeah, but they could upstairs too.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carry on. All right, reading of bills. We don't have any bills. No service officer report anymore because you don't have a true dedicated service officer. Is there a comrade or a family of a comrade in distress? Are you doing well? Good. Board of all committees, poppies.
Ed,
Eric.
2 weeks and 2 days from today, we'll be starting our Memorial Day Poppy Drive events, which is May 23rd, 24, 25, and 26. We currently have 15 open shifts. The majority of those are at Hagen and Fred Meyer. And I'm not gonna put around, those are heavy money makers for us. So if you can take a shift, please pick one of those. The sign-up sheets are on the back table. They do not include the Do It Center because the Do It Center is full. If you want to do it electronically, I've been sending out reminders, and the link through Tom's system is right on there and you can sign up on there. So I appreciate it if you could do that. And Doug, since you're here, if you see a couple of them you want, and also I will be attending the District 1 meeting on Saturday. And if we still have the high volume of shifts open, I'm gonna put it out to the other posts in District 1 that if they want to come and participate, they're more than welcome. For those of you that are new, the way we do this is if the auxiliary or another post comes and stands a shift at our tables, they take the money and we just continue on with our information booth. That gentleman that I just offered shift up to, he hadn't stood a shift for us without recruiting somebody, which apparently we now are good to go
For this
for
year,
this year.
but we're starting for next year already.
I got it, but I'm trying to get the info for District 1 since you're gonna be busy.
What's in the year?
What, the end of the year is
Yeah.
June 30th is the end of the fiscal year. July 1st is when we start the next year.
So after,
What happens is, once we hit our 102%, everything above that makes it a challenge for next year because we have people that don't renew or whatever. And so everything that if we recruit people now, we hold on to their membership till July 1st, then it helps us for next year to attain our goal for next year. There's always turnover and purge and crunch and stuff like that. So
Cooking the books. Got it.
no, not necessarily.
Are they, did they turn in a check and pay for their membership?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
plus if they're new, we pay for their first
We
year.
pay for their first year. So it's when
Oh,
we,
still,
no, we voted down other stuff, but not the membership part.
Nice to see you, Joe.
How you doing?
I'm doing surprisingly well. So if you got time after the meeting, stop by the table. If you see something you like, sign up for it.
And I'm gonna talk to you about Safeway. Will found out something today. About Safeway. Julians are gonna do a booth there at the same time. Huh? Are you sure?
Every year they increase the percentage you
Okay,
have
all
to
right.
have
Well, that's
to
as far.
qualify for the program.
Anyway, okay. For those of you who haven't stood a Poppy Drive, usually it's one or two of us at the table. If you're learning, you haven't done it before, there's two, but typically you're there by yourself. But this year I can tell you that you're gonna have 3 or more JROTC cadets at every table. They have a sign-up sheet in the classroom. They're full. I told them we could have more than 3. So you may have 5 or 6 kids out there helping you pass out poppies and putting out information. So, yeah, so they do a good job. Oh, no, you. School. Oh, you're in school.
They're still in school.
But anyway, while we're doing these, obviously membership is it's a information booth. It's not necessarily a Poppy Drive table anymore. So membership is a big thing. Veteran services and getting them pointed in the right direction to like veteran service officers and stuff like that. Daryl and I are gonna get the Reese Across America page up and running so we can start taking in donations for Reese Across America, not only at GAR, but at our new cemetery, the Machias Community Cemetery. So we can start getting those funds in, and which we don't get a check right away, but at least get the donations in so that we can have Reese at every veteran gravesite at the GAR and every gravesite at the Machias Community Center. Daryl's got Chronicle Company mapping out the Machias Community Cemetery for us. And we'll have a firm number of how many veteran grave sites are there after we do the cleanup next week. We'll talk about. But thanks, Eric. Looking forward to doing poppies. Anybody not signed up to do it? I don't want to embarrass you, but anybody not signed up to do information people yet? Okay. I'll talk to Eric after the meeting. That way we can get you signed, at least do one. All right, ramp it up. I think we've talked about that in previous meetings. I'm not saying that the program is dead and gone, but it's a challenge. Bruce hasn't been attending the meetings. Talked to the Ramp It Up, I guess, president of the nonprofit organization out of Indiana. And it's a small organization. We're not going to get a lot of support from them. Any ramps that we want to do in-state, we're going to have to do local recoveries of other ramps and get all the parts and materials on our own. We're not going to get support from UPS. We're not going to get ramps sent to us.
Yeah.
So Bruce just told us the wrong stuff. So yes, he was the guy, the point man for our area. He used to be Will Lennon. Will Lennon was one of the first guys to get it going. The guy who started the nonprofit out in Indiana, I called him, and it was just he, his wife, and his kids were the board of directors. And he did work for UPS as a driver or whatever, but UPS, like there was no relationship with UPS, like they were going to ship stuff to us, like Bruce told us. There are no like supplies of ramps just sitting around the country waiting to be shipped to us to install. So when I got off the phone with the guy, he's like, I will reach out to you if people in your area say that they have ramps they want to donate or give back, because the VA installs ramps all the time. And then when the person dies and they don't need the ramp anymore, the family doesn't need the ramp
Well, I
anymore.
could get ramps that the VA center put up for somebody.
Correct.
For this.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not dead. It's just, we don't have the ramp material right now on hand to go really install anything.
Are we kind of out of anything to do another ramp? Is that what I'm understanding?
No. It's there. We got enough to build some smaller ones.
Smaller ones, but yeah,
We could have done the ones here in town that were needed.
So
We got this.
question, if we were able to get lumber donated or something to build one. now.
lumber, you have to have a building permit.
These are metal.
Yeah, I know.
So you don't-
know.
So you don't have to do the building permit. What I was told is we don't do the building permit. Now, that was told by Bruce. When I talked to the guy at Ramp It Up in Indiana, he said, you do have to have a licensed, bonded and insured contractor that runs the project. We've never had that. So we could have gotten,
We're winging it.
Right. And we could have gotten our butts handed to us if something happened.
Right.
So another reason that we need to kind of like take a step back, revamp the program and then attack it in a different way.
So question, if we could find a business, a construction business that has that coverage and was willing to help us?
We have a member. I haven't talked to him yet about it, but Sean Strom, who's the senior enlisted leader at the 176th National Guard unit, he's got his own contracting company and he's a member of the post.
Okay.
He's getting ready to retire from his Army job, his National Guard job. So it's something that we could pair up with him in the future. I think Bruce has done a good job of doing the program, but we need a committee of people and like one person to really run the program correctly and do it by the book here. So it's something we want to
Is
start.
there any outline or anything of how it's supposed to be?
No, not from Bruce, but from the guy in Indiana. We have his info and how it's supposed to be done. He's got a local contractor here in the state that does the installation for him for the national people, but for us to do it locally, we would have to, he's got all the details of what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah, I know the couple I was involved in, it was pretty cool. I wanted to do more.
Right. So we just need a new ramp it up coordinator. All right. Adopt unit.
Andrew, I want to let everybody know that many of you in the adopting committee have heard, we had our FRG, the Family Readiness Group meeting over the weekend, and we've been told that the unit will be deploying. As Bob said, we don't know where, it shouldn't matter anyway. So as we know more, we'll put it on through the Adopt Unit Committee signal group. And the family day is going to look differently too, because as you all know, like last year's, they're still dispersed. They're still dispersed. They're down at Camp Murray. I appreciated everybody last year who came down and supported them, but it's even going to look more different than that because they got annual training. It's going to be pegged onto the end. They've got change of responsibilities. They're getting ready to go on deployment and. So because of our adopted budget, we have $750 to be nimble to support them. I'm going to be putting in a MAP grant, military assistance program grant. Last one we did, we got denied, if you remember. So I'm not hedging a bet on that. We're going to try and make do with the money we know we have. As far as the holidays and Memorial Day, I know in the past we've had vehicles in the parade and at the GAR. That's a no-go this year. There's no rigs here because of all the construction. Everything's been moved off of the at the Armory site. I do have volunteers from the unit who are going to come, but they're not coming with rigs. So at least we'll have some folks in uniform.
We have our rig.
You have our rig, and so I am going to be putting in for that linear feet. I guess where I'm going with that is the length of space you have to put in for the parade. Yes, sir.
I have a friend here in town with a 5-ton that would probably be more than willing to do it.
Let's coordinate after this, sir.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, yes, I reached out to the recruiter in the years past. She has marched with us, been there, supported with vehicles, et cetera, yada, yada. She's not going to be in any either. She's getting on leave. And so really it's going to look a lot different than in years past. I'm just asking you all to be nimble as we continue our support. And I've had some conversations with members of the Adopt Unit Committee. So when they go and we know there's a press release, it's official, we can get Operation Homefront squared away. We can do a bunch of different things. So I appreciate you all in advance for your support of the unit when they go downrange. And that's all I have unless you have slides.
I did not get the slides.
Okay, so I'll just give a visual. So if you were to go onto the city's permit portal page, put in 1501 Avenue D for the Armory, you can look at the attachments and see what the addition is going to look like. You may be wondering what's going on up there. There's a lot of construction. And so they're doing a huge addition onto it. You may have noticed our monument sign's been removed. That was never really permitted to begin with. So that's the right of way. That's how it goes. Things must be removed as new development occurs. Part of the deal. So go on there if you're curious. It's going to look just like the original Armory that stands right now that you know and love. Flat rooftop, protruding out with the windows, with the grids, I'll call them. It's additional classroom space essentially because the platoon rooms became classrooms. So everyone's doing this dance to try and get the work done as the unit has increased in capacity for the amount of soldiers, but then the square footage goes down for everyone. So they're playing this big charade game. Well, finally they'll have
the space they deserved all these years.
We got a general neutral, locker room head, you know, that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool when you go onto the site. So on the backside between the existing building and the covered area, they're adding like garage space or workspace on that side. And then as the building wraps around the front, the corner of the L is going to be the new locker room. And then they have the classrooms and is there like a tech center or like computer lab?
Maybe like
Computer lab? Yeah. So it's pretty cool when you look online. So
The pistol range back?
no.
Unfortunately, no. Anyway, Commander.
Yep. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question for the chairperson. Does Adam still have the sign?
Adam Morrison still has the sign. I will reach out to him. I haven't heard from him in a while. I know he's got a lot of issues.
That's fine. I just need a couple of weeks on the frame.
Okay.
I got it all set up, but I don't want him to do it until we're ready to reinstall.
Roger that. Thank you.
Okay. Remembering our national home. All present will rise. Left-hand hut. Uncover. Parade rest. Chaplain, we now ask divine blessings upon our national home for children.
Almighty God, we ask for your divine blessing on our children, families, and staff of our National Home for Children in Eden Rapids, Michigan. May your spirit dwell with them forever, giving them health and guiding their lives. Help us to always be faithful to our fallen comrades by providing shelter and guidance, support of their families. We ask in your holy name. Amen.
Left-hand hut. Cover. Seats. Finish business. All right, Memorial Day 2025, May 26th, Monday, we've got potentially two different events going on. The first event is going to be at the GAR, which will kick off exactly at 1100. We've already got the Snohomish High School band that's going to be playing all the service songs and music beforehand. Mr. John McPherson, who is a teacher at the high school, and the band director, they're going to play echo taps when appropriate. We need, Otis, you said you're not going to be there, right? So Eric, you and Nina are doing the flags or the wreaths too?
Maria may be there.
What?
Me and Maria.
Maria, got it. Okay. So the wreaths are underneath this table in the box for aux and for the post, and then we'll have to bring our flags. So, okay. I'll bring the sound system. Daryl's gonna have the stage and chairs all set up. I think that's it on the, like, for specific duties for our folks while you're there. JRTC students are gonna help with parking. The American Legion Auxiliary will have refreshments after. So, usually it's from like 11 to 12 when we're done. We need a volunteer to go help at the Machias Community Center Cemetery. Their event is at noon. There's really not much you're gonna have to do over there, except for if we have one of the trustees, is use the key, open up the shed and allow them to plug in for power. Yes.
That's the reason I wasn't hopefully gonna be a GAR, because I'm half a block from Machias.
So
And I have key.
there you go.
That I would be, somebody else comes up, it'd be great. We have flags, there's flags to set up there.
Right. I forget the name of Kevin Day, I think his name is, who was gonna set up the flags, talked last week. So he was gonna set up the flags the week of. He's
No, on the road or
Yeah.
on the grid.
on the road. Ace and Home Depot are donating flags for the gravesite, so we'll put that out as another community service event. Once we do the cleanup, which we'll talk about in a second. Anyway, so those are the Memorial Day events. Now, at the GAR, Daryl is setting up all their flags on Friday, starting at 1 o'clock. And we're gonna take all the flags down after the ceremony at the GAR at 1 o'clock. Except for the ones in the graves, right? Or are we leaving those out?
Oh, took them all down.
Took them all down. So the ones along the road, I don't know how many flags you have for the road. A lot. Yeah, so Friday at 1 o'clock, we're gonna have the JRTC cadets, Panther Pals are gonna be out there. Last year we got done in like an hour. We're gonna be quick again. Selling the flags up at 1 on Friday. We're taking them all down at 1 on Monday. At the Machias Community Center, we'll probably be placing flags out on Friday or sooner, depending on when we get the flags from Ace and Home Depot. And then take down is TBD. We haven't set a date. All right.
We have enough people for the new take on,
It's just gonna be me.
Lake Stevens,
No, well,
the Machias one?
yeah, we'll talk about that. It's coming up. Okay. Anyway, Veteran Picnic, August 23rd, 2025, out at the American Legion Park. Scott Schaefer is the chair. If you'd like to help out, the planning of that, you can get with Scott. I'll get you his contact information afterward. Scholarship essay update. We have a winner. I'm trying to remember what her name was. But anyway, we have a winner. She's a Snohomish High School senior. I was going to try to get her award to her tonight, but the school said no. So I just have to get together with her, find out when she and her family are available. So Scott and I can present her scholarship. But we had 5 candidates. They were all really, really good. It was a challenging vote. Tom, I bring myself and Scott were the committee. And they all submitted really good packages, but she was the #1 choice by far. So yes.
What time's the picnic on August?
TBD, I don't have that. To be determined, I don't have the time yet. So, okay, next. New business, here you go, Joe. Machias Community Cemetery, 1204 Silva Street. If you go north on Machias, you turn left at the fire station. That's Division. You follow the road, it turns into Silva, it'll wind up, and the cemetery will be on your left and your right. The old original section is on your right. On the left-hand side, there's a gravel road that takes you to the only building on the property, which is the shed, where all the maintenance equipment is stored. Daryl took it over from the board of directors when they turned it over to him. Our vote on April 1st, we agreed to take it on, but we have not formed our board yet to take it over. So tonight, I'm trying to get 3 trustees to kind of mirror the setup of the GAR cemetery. So we need 3 folks who want to serve as the trustees, with Daryl being the, I guess, the president of that board of trustees, and then 3 other trustees. Otis has been on a trustee for the cemetery for 40 years, you said. So he's got a lot of corporate knowledge and all that. But anybody else can serve in that role if they want to. So I'm opening up the floor to nominations for trustee at the MCC cemetery. Yes. You got to be a member. You're currently not a member of the post because your membership expired. Yep. Okay. I'm just saying, we can hold off on, Joe, just hold on. It's just a technicality. We can hold off until next month and have you get installed then. But is everybody good with that? I just can't vote them in because it's not legal.
Is it possible from the work before then?
I'm just saying he's not a member of the post. That is it. That's it.
I can swear him in.
I have money.
I'm saying that's, if you guys are good with it, that's fine. I'm saying technically he's not a member. Okay.
He's got the money. He's ready to pay tonight.
Okay, good. All right. So Joe, anybody want to second the nomination for Joe? Okay, any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Joe being a trustee of the Machias Community Cemetery? Aye. 1. Anybody else want to, Dan? There's gonna be a lot of physical labor involved. Huh? Yeah, so are you ready to take that on? Like mowing, weed whacking? Okay. But I'm saying that's,
We could bring help, correct?
right.
You don't have to mow.
Am I already one?
No, we're gonna, you're in the other organization, so we'd have to this is a new organization, so.
All right. I nominate myself.
Okay, anybody want a second? Otis? All right, any discussion on Otis? Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, 3rd trustee. Anybody else want to volunteer for 3rd trustee?
23rd, if you want to make it like that, if you want to organize it that way.
That's fine. So Daryl nominates himself to be the third trustee.
Second,
Any discussion? Yeah.
How long's the trustee need to be? Like, how long are we doing?
1 year. Well,
I leave in December to go to Chicago.
yeah, you'd want somebody longer than that. Okay. So any discussion on Daryl? Any discussion on Daryl? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. There are 3 trustees. We can meet afterwards, talk about meeting, where we're gonna meet, how often we're gonna meet. GAR already has a lot of structure, like bylaws, rules, regulations, stuff that we don't have currently from, the Machias Community Cemetery.
Not rewrite a book.
Correct. I'm saying not rewrite the book. So the goal was Daryl has copies of all that stuff. So we're just gonna change the name to protect the innocent and adopt the same structure and all that, just because it makes it really easy. Yep. So we'll talk about that at the first trustee meeting. Okay, so that part's done.
more. One.
Yeah.
We need volunteers for ground maintenance out there, otherwise we have to pay.
I'm not there yet. Notice we got through the election. That's next on my list. Okay, so VFW month of May is the month of service, days of service. And so next Wednesday, you want to.
The 14th.
Huh?
The 14th.
Yeah, you want to put you just have the sign up for it.
Yep.
But we're gonna do a day of service on next Wednesday from 1 to 7 PM out at the cemetery. I've got Home Depot already lined up to provide bodies and some equipment. The JRTC cadets are gonna come out. Ace Hardware is gonna donate, American flags for the early sites. But what we need is bodies and equipment. And the equipment is on this list, so we'll kind of go over what we need. So the cemetery itself has a zero spin steer Kubota riding mower, 2 weed whackers, and a push behind mower. And a chainsaw. So and a small handheld blower. But to do it, the cleanup all at one time and employ the number of bodies we're gonna have, we're gonna need riding mowers that bag, push mowers that bag, because there's a lot of clippings. I spent 15 hours there between Thursday and Sunday mowing the whole cemetery. Home Depot is gonna bring, we've got to rent it, which I'll get with Daryl to get the funds for. But we're gonna rent a brush cutter because there's blackberry bushes around the perimeter and other brush. And we're gonna try to get the perimeter of the cemetery cleaned out and pushed back. It'll help us mow it when we're out there. Yes, sir.
Tractor with a brush hog?
Yes, that'd be awesome. If we
Um,
had, that, I mean,
no, it would be useless. It would do a lot of damage.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not enough.
okay. Anyway, we're gonna get the brush cutter to push a lot of the bushes and blackberries and stuff back.
It's just behind the shed is where the blackberry.
Well, if anybody, I mean, I've got a guy that I know that's a tree trimmer. He owns his own company. He's got a big tree shredder chipper thing that would float into a truck. But if anybody else has friends that have access to that, there's a big pile of debris in the southwest corner of the cemetery that needs to be mulched. And we have a small pile of mulch right now, but once we do all this cleanup, there's areas where we could put mulch around the perimeter, keep the weeds and stuff down so that when we mow in the future, it's gonna be less work for us. So we need bodies and equipment. So if you have any equipment like this, get with Otis afterwards because he has a trailer that we can load it on. If you don't have your own trailer, but Otis has a trailer that we can load it on and bring it either Tuesday night and store it out there or have it delivered Wednesday morning so we can use it all day on Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Is this just us or can we put this out to?
No, you can put it anybody. So I put it out, there's a scout unit that's putting it out to their scout troop tonight. This is one of the students in the JRTC unit needs an Eagle Scout project.
Lake Stevens Community Page?
Sure, go ahead. Absolutely, sure. So like I said, it's 1 to 7 on the 14th. As many people as
It's
we
a
get.
challenge, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah. But we're trying to get it to where we can get it all spruced up and done so that on Memorial Day, all we have to do is make sure we get the flags out. Yes,
Are any of the volunteer kids under 16? Because they can't use power equipment, right?
I've got a hold harmless permission slip.
Okay.
So I took care of that part. Yes.
Control burns, are we gonna burn anything or not?
No, we're not gonna burn anything. Daryl and I talked about that. That's why I want to,
Bagging.
mulch all the big brush and then for the bag, grass and stuff. Dump, like we're gonna dump it around along the right, Daryl.
Yeah, the biggest thing you need out there, you only need a couple of lawnmowers. We already got one out there, zero turn. You only need maybe one or two more, but the weed eaters is what you need.
Yeah, weed eaters and
There's a lot of
blowers.
plots you have to weed eat
The
around.
break coming up from fire hall, that used to be something we'd always,
You always do that?
yeah, get that for Memorial Day. And then over on the back, we're gonna.
And you can bring weed eater with a brush blade? or
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
designs.
There's a lot of
40 volt.
There's a lot of sticker bushes behind the shed that needs to get cut out, but that's the only part that really needs to get,
Well,
like,
And the far side,
On the north side,
the old side.
in the corner, there's a
I have one of those, Joe, too, that Mike has string and the blades.
corner,
Yeah, I'm out of string.
corner grows out and there's actually grade there.
I found them.
We were cutting brush one day and like, oh, hi.
Yeah, I found a
It's
couple.
overgrown.
can I, yeah.
So, what I would like to do is have guys who are gonna be available to be there at 1 o'clock or earlier, to meet with Otis and Daryl and I sometime between now and next Wednesday. And what we're gonna do is try to came up with a game plan and have section leaders for each section of the property. And that way you have a list of things that we're trying to get done. So when the volunteers show up, you can be the leader on site.
Go out that section, go out that section.
One voice, we'll have an overall person, but we'll say, okay, Joe's the section leader for this section over here. Daryl's over here, Otis, whoever the section is. And you as a section leader have a written out list of tasks that we're trying to accomplish in your section to get done. So once we get your section done, then we're done and we go, we get done in a couple hours, we get done in a couple hours, but if it takes us the whole time, then think about it. But I don't see it with the number of bodies that we're gonna have. It's more the equipment. If you have, a riding mower that bags, because there's a ton of clippings out there. We gotta get rid of all the clippings and, blowers and weed whackers.
So are you making a list of stuff that people can bring? Cause yeah, I know, I
It's
see.
kind of sheets and I think you did and.
I wasn't really, I got a job.
Right.
I wasn't really running this.
No, so I can take charge of it as far as people can email me, my number's on here. You can email me or text me and say, hey, I'm bringing this stuff. Okay. Or if you have friends that are coming to help out, they can, if we have 5 riding mowers, it's not gonna kill us to have extras. It's not a big deal.
It's that much faster.
Right, that much faster. But the big thing is, are the blowers, weed whackers and
Extra walk behinds are always good too, because the raised plots are easier. You can mow with you can't do it with a rider, but you
can't get up
can
there.
pop one up there
All right.
and walk behind.
So my number's on the form or on the handout. And just text me, email me, and we'll get organized for next week. This is
it?
Daryl, how many acres, Otis, how many acres is it?
3, 5.
can't remember.
13?
Yes.
Yeah,
We just had it, just for information purposes, we just had a map and the plots just got put on today. So, all the plots where there's a headstone is now, you can leave the headstone picture of it. You click it.
There's Nick.
But, it's not public yet. As soon as we fix all of this, part of the trustee job, we're gonna start, and my wife also is gonna volunteer to put all that stuff in. And everything's mapped.
10 acres on the old site, the main cemetery, and then there's 3 acres that Williams Pipeline donated to us several years ago. So there's about 13.
so the next goal, besides the cleanup, the next list of priorities we're gonna try to do is Daryl is gonna, create the website. I contacted all the people for the Facebook page and no one knows who the admin is. So we're gonna have to start our own Facebook page. Just restart it. But we're gonna, and then Reach Across America. With those 3 things, we're hoping to generate more business. Daryl's got a vested interest in it because he's got legacy, legacy burials. So because he took on the role of being the president, we as a post said, all right, you're gonna be our exclusive burial person for all the burials out at the cemetery. And then on top of that, he also sells headstones and gravestones. So it's a win-win for both of us as him being a member and providing those services.
No.
Right now, it's not.
I did
But-
2 barrels last week.
Yeah. But normally one a month.
I mean, it's kind of a lot.
Bruce, welcome, Bruce. Yes.
One thing I wanted to bring up for everybody to think, okay? The chat or VFW Post 921 is taking over. I would like leave the cemetery, Machias Community Cemetery, and just leave the name the way it is. It's been that way for longer than I've been around. And then we can just add another sign at the bottom, operated by, or however we want to word
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I don't even think we need to really do that unless we really want to, but I think there's a bulletin board and we can leave it Machias Community Cemetery, but then there's, like, I was gonna, once we get all of you guys' names and numbers and stuff, I was gonna put a laminated sheet in there that says Machias Community Center, managed or owned and operated, whatever we want to say, by VFW Post 921. Here are the points of contact. And we'll post the rules and regulations up there and also have the website when that gets up and running. We'll have the website up there for information purposes. But there's no reason to change the name. But there's no reason not to try to increase business. And, you know, do we make money off of it? Not necessarily. But we've taken on this role and to make sure the business is healthy, the more grave sites we sell, the better.
Selling is fine. One thing that happened to us, the county approached us years ago because we had the cheapest plots in the county and wanted to turn this into a pauper. So any Potter Field, pothead, whatever. Anyway, that didn't happen as long as I'm breathing.
Right.
That's Naomi or Machias Community Cemetery.
Is it a military type like GAR? I mean, I know GAR.
No,
is
there's just a lot of veterans.
There are a lot of,
There are
a
a lot
lot.
of veterans there. though.
Lots
Wow.
of veterans from the Civil War
yeah.
on.
Oh, wow.
You go over to the old section, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like, it's the same era it started as the GAR.
Okay.
And I think it's actually older than GAR on the Facebook page. You have to look at when the family started it. But it was late 1800s.
There's 5 generations of some families buried. The Youngs, Jim, used to own the tavern, 5 generations of his family are there.
Okay. All right. Before we go into nomination, election, installation officers, we're gonna go over community service reports. Can you pull up, you get rid of the slides and pull up, pull up the VFWWA.org website. And then when you log in, it's that number. And then, Tom, is it all capitals or lowercase? Remember?
I don't think it matters.
50-50 shot. All right, so log in, put that number, and the password's my last name. I think it's all caps.
In late even done that service for years. There, I'm gonna be there because somebody got to unlock it.
All right, go to program reporting. And then don't save. Okay, so.
You're still on new business, Brett.
Give me a sec.
There you go.
Nice job.
Keep sliding. All right, so the website, VFWWA.org, it's really simple. Login over here is your VFW number and it's your last name. Did you, all caps? Did you remember? It's
All caps.
All caps. So to log in, your VFW number, you put it all caps. All right, slide up a little bit, Brian.
I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see anything? Oh. Okay. Anyway, you put in your post, district is 1, your email. So go ahead and put district 1 in, Brian. Date of activity, let's use Sunday, which was the 4th. I'm going to say it was community service.
scroll up, then, let's go other, down at the bottom. Other cumulative hours is, scroll back, we're down a little bit. Cumulative hours, 5 hours, miles, so put 5 hours in there if you can. All right, and then can you scroll over or you?
Tab?
Tab.
Does that work?
Yeah, do 20 miles. So I had to go get gas. Members, 1. Auxiliary, 0. Number of veterans help, $0. Let's just put in $30 donated because that was, no, veterans help, 0. Sorry. That's 0. Tab, $30. And then description, just say mode, Machias Community Center, or Machias Community Cemetery property. And it's an S at the end of Machias. It's TERY.
Okay. Ooh, I can't see anything.
Okay, anyway, all right.
Sure.
And then just go ahead. Don's not gonna care when he sees it. Then hit submit. That's it. That's all it takes to do community service report. Yes.
So just one, I don't mean to zero that, to confuse any.
Veterans help that's a required field.
Is that a zero there? Zero. So in the past, if you participated in an information booth or you participated with the support for the armory, the committee chair accumulates all that time, date, and miles and names. And for me, I put it in for information booths. I put it in for copy drives, anything that we do, Tom does it for his group.
And just Bahia days, parades, all that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one person in the department that has to log all of these reports from all the state of Washington. So if you send in a group, that's one report, covers everybody that did copies over Memorial Day. So poor guy in there only has to put one entry.
And the same as like on the committee for the armed forces trailer. You come out to my place and we work on it or paint it or do whatever we're gonna do to it. I put in one group for that, just to clarify, Commander. Just
And next week, when we do the day of service, I'll have a sign-up sheet with a clipboard for everybody that's there, that's a member. And then I'll submit this report for all of us. But the reason why we need to do this, it's part of the All-American Dashboard. They're tracking not our hours, but they're tracking the number of reports that we submit. I was delinquent. I was telling Otis and Doug White earlier that I didn't submit any for the year. I just never got around to it, And last Thursday morning, I had some time to kill in between drill practice and school, logged in and just knocked out like 36 of them in a half hour. They're super easy. Doesn't take any time once you get in the hang of it. Just when you do volunteer, it's not necessarily volunteering just with the VFW, it's volunteering in general. Any community service that you do can get logged in here. So if we're doing stuff for the American Legion, we can track it as doing it, it's community service for VFW.
and just like when I started doing this, I filled it out to the best of my ability. If it wasn't right, the guy at District 1, he'd kick it back, but he tells you exactly what you did wrong and you go in and correct it. It's really straightforward.
All right. So for the day of service next week at the cemetery, Brian has sent out the link. It's just like the Poppy Drive link with Sign Up Genius. I'm gonna have him, since you guys are all here tonight, I'm gonna have him resend it out tomorrow so you guys can sign up on that to volunteer for the day of service. We're gonna do the election installation of officers now, and then we'll do the delegates for the convention after that. And membership report, we've already talked about it. We're extremely close to being at 102% for All-American. So let's go ahead and elections and installation officers. All right. So this is our last final round of, we've already done all nominations, right? Otis nominations are closed, or are they still open tonight?
Where did that get?
You always kept them open.
We kept moving because I asked you a question earlier tonight.
Right, I got you. Yep, and you're good for that. So you go ahead. When you want to nominate,
We already talked. All right, so do we have any nominations for commander? Any nominations for commander? Any nominations for commander? Not hearing any. The only nomination for commander is myself. I don't think we have to vote for that because it's automatic, right?
No, that's
Yeah.
automatic.
All right, nominations for senior vice. Currently, we have Matt Hammerly, who's deployed. Do we have any other nominations?
Better. I'd like to nominate Tom Crankton. Reason being, nothing against Matt, but Matt is deployed constantly. We need some bodies here. Tom is always here. I think he do a wonderful job. Matt comes back from deployment and all of us have been through that. He'll come right back into a position.
Okay. You accept? Do we have a second for that nomination?
Second the nomination.
Okay. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, so we have two nominations for senior vice. Matt Hammerly and Tom Kreinbring. Otis, is there a way you can rip up some paper and we can?
There's tickets.
Okay.
That should be right there.
All right, you want to pass out tickets and then we'll put two piles? We got to do a vote the right way, so. All right, while he's doing that, we'll go ahead. Currently, we have Carson Booth as being nominated for junior vice. Do we have any other nominations for junior vice? Do we have any other nominations for junior vice? Do we have any other nominations for junior vice? Hearing none, we elected Carson Booth as our junior vice for 2025, 2026. Okay. Currently, we have Stanley Ombrecht as nominated for quartermaster. Do we have any other nominations for quartermaster? Any other nominations for quartermaster? Any other nominations for quartermaster? Hearing none, Stanley has been elected for 2025, 2026. I think that, look at our report, but I think that's it for elected positions. All the rest are appointed. So, Stanley? I think that's everybody that's elected. So me. That's the point, right? Yeah. It looks like it's a vote, right?
It says chat, number.
Thanks to the trustees.
The commander shall appoint adjutant, chaplain, and may appoint a service officer.
Right. So, yep, all the rest are appointed. And then we got to vote on trustee. Okay. Yes.
And,
Oh, nothing, I was scratching.
Okay. Otis, for the trustees, you got to refresh my memory on.
it was myself, James,
James and Eric.
Eric, but we're also gonna need a surgeon.
Surgeon is appointed.
Yeah.
So Otis, James, and Eric English. Right? Yeah.
They got the only error.
Oh. Are we cool having more than 3 trustees out at the cemetery? Okay, so I'm nominating James Hampton for trustee. Have a second. James does poppies with Eric. He's a retired Air Force guy. He's here all the time. He's just out with his son right now. Any discussion on James being a trustee at the cemetery? Discussion, any discussion? All in favor of James being a trustee at the cemetery?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so for trustees, Otis, you said your first year, James is second, and Eric's 3.
Good.
Okay, and you guys all talked about this last month. Do we have any other nominations for trustees? Do we have any other nominations for trustees? Do we have any other nominations for trustees? Hearing no other nominations, Otis Wolf, James Hampton, and Eric English are trustees in order, 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year. All right,
Unanimous.
okay. Tom has been elected as our senior vice commander for 2025, 2026. Elmer I need you, because Otis is getting sworn in. Eric, I need you. Here, so you're the installation officer. And, Ashton is Brian, and then Abe is the name. You're the name. It says Abe. We're good. I got guys there, so. Doug, you want to install us?
You can do it.
Yeah. 56. Yeah, well, Doug, if you have a seat now, Doug. All right, so Doug, you're gonna install us. And, Eric's gonna be the A. He's gonna be the A.
Eric's being installed.
But I'm not the fire officer.
Eric needs to be installed.
Oh, Eric's gonna be installed.
Is it meeting over?
No. No, meeting's not over.
Hey, I gotta go.
You gotta go,
It's over.
it's not over.
Okay.
You still.
That's finished then. I should
Installation
get the clusters
installation of-
tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably gotta read. You're on page 56. All right, so. All right, oh wait, you're getting installed, Tom, you can't do that, you're right.
Yeah.
That's first of the breed. He's getting right. There's the other to do, have Nick do it, Nick's actually. Nick, you're the A. That be in order, or? Yeah, so. Tom's gonna be in front of there. Tom, Carson, that's gonna be Otis, James is here.
Right?
I got it. It's really tough. I don't know if I could do it.
All right, you guys ready?
Department Commander, the term for which you and your sworn officers were elected will terminate upon the date of the installation of your department commander. I've been selected by the commander-elect in accordance with the national bylaws to install your newly elected officers. Have the officers for the ensuing year been duly elected?
Yes.
Comrade Edgeston, do you have on file proof of eligibility for all officers to be installed during this installation?
Yes.
I would remind any officer not having proof of eligibility on file and not being installed this time, the bylaws prescribe you must, within 30 days of election or appointment, submit to the adjutant for their file a copy of your proof of eligibility. Have you the charter in your possession?
Yes.
You will now surrender the gavel to me. Comrade Commander, your duties as presiding officer of this post will terminate following the department convention, and that doesn't apply because you are being reelected. See here, we can actually. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already in proper,
Stanley's joining.
yeah, you're getting in proper order, okay. So we can skip that. Officers-elect of Gay Jones Post 921, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, I want to administer to you the officer's obligation. You'll raise your right hand, touch the flag of our country with your left hand, and repeat after me, and you are all doing good. Okay, so repeat after me. I do hereby solemnly promise
I do hereby solemnly promise
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
to which I've been elected or appointed
to which I've been elected or appointed
according to the bylaws and ritual
according to the bylaws and ritual
of the Veterans of Foreign Wars
Veterans of Foreign Wars
of the United States,
of the United States,
together with the bylaws of this post.
together with the bylaws of this post.
I solemnly promise
I solemnly promise
that at the close of the term
at the close of the term
to which I've been elected or appointed,
to which I've been elected or appointed,
or sooner if so ordered by proper authority,
or sooner if so ordered by proper authority,
I will surrender immediately
I will surrender immediately
to only the duly authorized person or persons.
only the duly authorized persons or persons.
All records,
All the records,
money, or other properties of this organization
money, properties of this organization
in my possession or under my control.
in my possession or under my control.
All this I freely promise
All this I freely promise
upon my honor as a true comrade
on my honor as a true comrade
and a member of our great republic.
and
and a member of our great republic.
So help me God.
So help me God.
As you were, parade rest. And do you do the prayer for the chaplain? Okay,
We can.
chaplain. You ready for the prayer? Okay. Attention, uncover, parade rest. Chaplain.
Almighty God, we ask thy blessing upon these, our comrades, who now become fellow members. May the tender ties formed amid the privations and dangers of war be drawn closer by our fellowship in this order. May our union fester among us an enduring comradeship and a spirit of mutual loyalty and support in every walk of life. May these comrades dedicate and devote their lives to thy service. And as thou did spare them during the perils of war, grant that henceforth they may be spared for a useful life to the honor and glory of thy holy name. Amen.
Attention, recover. Comrade Commander, you'll now conduct the officers to your stations. I would say just disperse to where you were. Round of applause for all of our new officers. All right, quick, give the order. I had a couple of things. One, in speaking with Terry Stinson, our district commander, we currently do not have directors and officers insurance, which is, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we didn't have that, or I thought it was just covered under like VFW higher ups, but it's not. So as a post, I'd like to recommend that we seek insurance, directors and officers insurance to cover all the directors and officers and the post if any kind of suit against us. In addition to that, Terry recommended that we get a small liability insurance policy to cover us while we're here at the post. If something happens, somebody falls down the stairs, yes, the American Legion has insurance, but we as a post, you're coming to our meetings and stuff like that. Terry recommended that we get a small policy for that. I reached out today to Post 7511's insurance agent in Monroe, State Farm. And so when I get in touch with her, I'll ask her to give us quotes for both directors and officers insurance and a small liability insurance policy to cover us while we're here. Does anybody have any objections to that? Everybody on board with that? Okay, in addition to that, since we now have the cemetery and we have people out there, like part of the due diligence or doing the discussions and debating or taking it over was, hey, we need to cover ourselves once we take ownership of this or whatever we're calling it. And we're gonna have volunteers out there next week. One, I've generated a hold harmless, which was Carson's request for any minors. So there's a permission slip that has to be filled out and signed by their parents, allowing them to come and work and volunteer on the property, operate equipment, that kind of stuff. But it's not only a permission slip, but a hold harmless agreement, so they can't come back and sue us. I'm going to have a one pager of the same, a very similar document for adults, but I'll have it on a clipboard. So when volunteers show up to come, they're going to fill out the clipboard. They'll read the hold harmless and then sign the clipboard, sign and date the clipboard, which would be in effect their individual hold harmless agreement. But in the meantime, I still feel like we need to have directors and officers insurance for the board of trustees at the cemetery and our own liability insurance coverage for the cemetery for anybody volunteering or helping out. Like if we have guys out there mowing, using equipment, they get hurt, we need to be covered. So anybody have any objections to that? Oops.
But this would be paid out of the cemetery funds, not the post funds.
Correct.
It's clarifying.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. And then the board of trustees are gonna meet once a month
like we do for the GAR. And at this meeting, they'll give us a financial report of the cemetery. Status of funds, any bills, any equipment that needs to be purchased or refurbished or any of that kind of stuff. So that'll be part of the meeting. It'll be another committee per se for our meetings moving forward. Everybody good with me contacting the insurance agent and working on behalf of I won't sign anything, agree to anything. I'll get quotes and bring them to the May meeting or the June meeting, sorry.
Rebid.
3 bids? Yeah, I could try to get 3 bids. Yeah. I could try to get 3 bids and see what we get. Now, the last thing we have was before, go to the order, go back since we did installations, but the state convention is June, I think, 25th.
25 to 29.
Yeah, 25, 29 in Yakima. Otis is going as part of the state delegates, right? Because you're
I'm going as delegate for post 921.
correct, but don't you have a state level role?
So far, there's no finance committee meeting, so
Okay.
I'm going for the,
Okay, so Otis is one of our delegates. We voted as part of our 2024, 2025 budget that we would pay for our delegates to go to the convention. All that really would include is the banquet dinner, which is typically about $40, and then your hotel stay. You're responsible for mileage and gas and all that stuff, transportation to from, and other meals while you're there. But is it 45 this year? Okay, so, but we need 4 other delegates to attend the convention. I cannot go. I'm going to be out of town with my family, but we're looking for other folks that would like to take the time. Dan, would you like to go? Okay, so we got 2 delegates. Anybody else want to be it? Elmer, do you want to go this year?
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
Okay, so there's 3 delegates. Anybody else want to go?
That's what the dates were.
Oh, June 25th
Through the 29th.
through the 29th. So you typically a Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, sign up with the state or just, you guys.
You're gonna have to sign up for the banquet through the state, and we'll get you Jason's information,
Oh, okay.
right, to sign up for that and register for the convention.
and the Ledgestone. Staying
Yeah.
at a nice.
So you guys will have to make your own hotel reservations, save your receipt, and then you give it to Stanley. So you're gonna need your receipt for the banquet and for your hotel, and you submit to Stanley and he'll reimburse you. So we got 4 delegates. We have Bruce, Elmer, Otis, and Dan. Anybody else want to attend the convention? Anybody else want to attend? Okay, if anybody else decides they want to attend later on, let me know and we'll get you all set up through Jason, the state assistant adjutant. We'll make your meal choice and get you signed up for the banquet, and then we'll get you the information about the hotel. Yes, Elmer.
And that's it, your words on that?
Yes.
To, learn a little bit more about the VFW and the extensions. This is where you learn a lot of this stuff, where you learn about the podium book. I was always pushing the podium book for everybody to learn, but down there, you don't know what's going on. If you go to the conventions, you learn so much, you learn little detail stuff, so. And anytime anybody else can go, I don't mind not going, but if you want to go or you need support, I can get people there and get you back if you don't have transportation, but you don't learn if you don't go.
It's an amazing opportunity for relationship building and meeting new people. Typically, I sit with Doug, Terry, and the guys in Otis, the guys from our district, but all the night functions and all the different stuff, you meet people throughout the state, and they're great assets as far as information on how to run your post and learning different tricks of the trade and things like that. So,
Classes.
yeah.
For the first 3 days, it's basic class, quartermaster training, adjutant training, other training, I don't got the schedule in front of me right now. But those days, and starting like next year, Comrade James has said there'll be about 1 hour of joint meeting for his, and the rest of it's gonna be training sessions.
I've gone to 3 now, and every single one of them, I've learned something new every time. So, in the future, if you want to attend, Nick's gone with me and Bruce and Elmer, and it's it's a very, very valuable learning experience. It's also a lot of fun. So anyway, anybody, yes, Elmer.
We had a couple of our members that, really couldn't make it for 3 days. They would show up on Saturday and do everything. There's a lot of stuff would be done on Saturday. So if you can't make it or stay overnight, you can do it one day. Now, I have done it in the past, one day, because I was so busy.
Good.
Hey, Grant, it's a buffet this year.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, it makes it even easier.
Where is it?
You still gotta pay for it though.
$45.
$45 for the buffet, which I guarantee you is gonna be better than midwinter.
All right, our pizza's getting cold upstairs. Anybody else have anything good for the good of the order? All right, not hearing anything? Let's go. All right. Lieutenant Hutt. Uncover. Grade rep. Chaplain. Read the closing prayer.
Almighty God, the hour has come when we must part. We commit ourselves to thy care. Thou who art our strong tower of defense and our protection, grant that in life's battles we may be strong and brave, living such lives of stainless integrity as shall reflect honor upon our country and the veterans of foreign wars of the United States, and glorify thy great and holy name. May thy good providence shield us from all harm. Watch over those who even now guard the gates of freedom, and bring us together again in true comradeship and peace. Amen.
Lieutenant Hutt. Cover. And salute. Ready to. Comrades, I now declare this business session of VFW Post 921 closed. The next regular meeting will be held at American Legion Post 96 on June 3rd at 6 p.m. Thank you for coming.
You take cash? Did you look? I don't know, what are you?
On that sign up thing, it's only like, what happens, you go over 5 people, can you still sign up?
Yeah, he's not there.
I didn't create the sign up.
Tom did.
Tom did.
I could probably show them that.
That's a good problem to have. Yeah. I'm sure that if it's full, still.
I'll just show up and try to sign up.
Okay, good question.
Yes.
I'm the old school paperwork, but I do keep it in computers, but I'm not that big. So am I doing it right?
Okay.
Remember?
Password is, your last name, uppercase, all uppercase. Uppercase, yep.
Yeah, it would. Okay, cool.
I got an 8-year-old that helps me out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
say, it's okay, but I'm not cash with it. Thank you.
Oh, you never get transferred. You don't have to.